Welcome to the Alternative Dog Moms Podcast. I'm Kimberly Gauthier, creator of Keep the Tail Wagging. I've been blogging about raw feeding, pet wellness, and life as a crazy dog mom for more than 10 years. I've seen massive improvements in my dog's health since I began raising my dogs naturally, and I'm passionate about sharing my experience to help other pet parents.
I'm Erin Scott from the Believe in Dog podcast. For more than 10 years, I've been researching and learning everything I can about healing cancer, allergies, autoimmune, and mystery illnesses in both my dogs and myself. And I can't wait to share with you everything I've learned in case it could help you too. As the Alternative Dog Moms, Kimberly and I are bringing you all the latest dog health news that we're following and the brilliant people we're meeting along the way. Now let's get started. Hello, Kimberly.
Hello, Erin. Okay, I have something to say. That has nothing to do with dogs. But on Facebook, I saw a post on Facebook that said, to the person at Facebook that decided to put the navigation bar at the bottom instead of the top, I hope you get fired. And I burst out laughing because I was just like, okay, so it's not just me. That something's changed.
Everything always looks different when I go in, and then I'm like, am I just old? And
I know exactly. I mean, it's like, I was just like, maybe it's always been this way and I never noticed. I was like, but I just don't feel like it was. But it made me feel so good. Okay,
so we're back.
we are back.
So thank you everyone for their patience. I've had all the things. I've had all my volunteer stuff going on. It was my anniversary. It was my nephew's graduation that then he refused to go to. My nephew had to have surgery. And I don't know. It's been a month. This whole year has been a month.
Yes, I think it has for a lot of people. So I have an update.
Okay.
I'm really excited about this update because this has been a saga that has been fascinating to me. And it's made me so grateful that I do not own a dog food company because I literally could not have it. So last week I told you about a person who was complaining about a dog food company. I'll just say it. It was Viva Raw. And they said that they got some food for their cat and the food smelled like rotten eggs and, smell like sulfur. So they threw it out and they contacted Viva Raw because they just assumed that the food was spoiled. So they contacted Viva Raw for a refund, and it was 2 orders that they wanted refunded. And so Viva Raw refunded one of the orders and then gave them a credit on account for the second order. That's not what they wanted. So they went to their bank and they disputed the charges. And so that turned into a thing. So what was interesting is that I don't know this person. But this is all on Reddit, and we'll put a link to it so that you guys can see the discussion. But the person was told by Viva Raw that, we'll go ahead and I don't know if it was just because what was weird is it doesn't matter. At some point in time during the conversation, Viva Raw asked them to donate the food to a shelter or rescue and then show them evidence like the receipt that they donated it. And last week we were talking about that makes absolutely zero sense because I do not know any shelters or rescues that have freezer space for raw dog food. If it smells like sulfur, are they going to want it? And also it's kind of tricky because these dogs are coming in, they're already stressed out. They probably have a compromised system. Do you really want to just throw them onto raw randomly? I mean, especially when you're not going to keep them onto raw. None of it makes sense. My rescue group, Save a Mutt, we do get donations on occasion of raw dog food, and they just call me and I go pick it up and put it in my freezer and feed it to my dogs. We do not give it to the dogs that we have in foster. And I know that a lot of people think that I do as well, that feeding them a raw food diet, even if they don't continue feeding raw when they get adopted, it gets them started off to like a better start, like a jump start. It starts healing their gut and things like that. And I agree with that. However, not everyone in our foster program are raw feeders or comfortable feeding raw. And again, if you end up with a dog that doesn't feel well, starts getting sick, or if they go to their new home and their new home puts them onto whatever kibble and they have an absolute, blowout because of it, there's just more cons than pros for us
Very.
with that. So there was an update on the Reddit story. And the update was, I'm gonna see if I do have it up, and I just find it interesting. And I don't know if this is the whole thing. So recently had 2 orders, 300 and 227 from them, and it came smelling like spoiled rotten eggs. I emailed them and they claimed it's because of the high pressure pasteurization process. They refuse to give me a refund unless I donate them and I have to provide proof. This is absolute madness. The meat is off already and smells rotten. They were not fast with their responses, and I've already thrown everything out. Even if I still have the product, I will not risk donating them as they smell rotten and the texture is different and weird. So the person added this was the initial Reddit post. There was an updated Reddit post that I want to see. Is that 2 weeks? Yeah. So here's 2 weeks ago. And what was interesting is in the update is what I want to talk about now. I'm impressed with the people who work for Viva Raw because how they handled this was really professional. So this is the update. An update to my last post. I replied and they gave me a full refund for one order and credit for the other order. They tried to make it sound like they are doing me a favor, but all I want is my money back. I went ahead and disputed the charge and they sent me a threatening email. I've already decided not to buy from them again after their, in quotes, great customer service. All I can say is I'm deeply disappointed and please don't buy from them if they are selling rotten smelling meat. Note to those who are wondering why I disputed. It was a journey getting the refund back for one order and store credit for the other order. The store credit did not cover the total amount of my second order. What I'm looking for is my full refund, which has been difficult as I had to ask for a manager to step in. Finally, a supervisor responded and decided on a full refund for one order, store credit for the other. Blah, blah, blah. None of this matters. So, what's interesting is that she included all of the email back and forth. And what I found interesting is, and we talked about it last time, was HPP smells like rotten eggs. And I did look it up, and yeah, that can happen. I've never had that experience before with any HPP food I fed, and I used to feed green juju to my cat, but it was freeze dried, so maybe that's a different. I also fed occasionally. I got Northwest Naturals if I got like a freezer dump or something, and or sometimes I just picked it up. I think I've also fed OC Raw. I'm trying to think of other HPP brands. Those are the only ones that come to mind. And I've never smelled rotten egg. But when I looked into it, I found that it can happen depending on the ingredients. And what's interesting is that I remember when HPP first became a thing,
Mm-hmm.
most brands seem to only be doing their poultry because that was the biggest issue. And my research said that sometimes the poultry the process, depending upon the process. And I think that everyone has slightly, like, I think what Green Juju is doing isn't exactly the same as what Northwest Natural is doing, which isn't exactly the same as, I think Steve's Real Food might do HPP. I'm not sure. But OC Raw, I think they do. But now that I'm seeing it, I'm not even 100% sure with them as either. But the chicken or turkey can cause a sulfur smell, but also if there's a lot of eggs in the recipe, that can result in a sulfur smell. But what's interesting is that Viva Raw actually lets their customers know that because that was my thing is like, that's a pretty jarring smell. So I would think that you would want to let your customers know. They actually do. They educate their customers and it's information that they give to them to say this could happen. It doesn't mean the food is bad. It's because of the HPP. So there is that. But also um, the comment that they were threatened, that they threatened her. I went through these emails and they were so nice where they explained everything that was going on. There's a point where it says, I do want to make this right. Given the situation, I have checked in with my team for you and we can offer a full refund on your most recent order. I mean, they were going through and talking things out and explaining what they were doing and why they were doing it. But this is a threatening email. Hi, blank. I hope you're doing well. We recently been notified by your bank regarding a chargeback on a transaction with us. While we understand that things can sometimes go wrong, we always encourage our customers to reach out to us directly so we can work together to resolve any issues quickly. This allows us to maintain a positive experience and continue providing the best service possible. If you are experiencing any issues with the order you received, please let us know so we can assist you in resolving the matter. Our policies are designed to be fair and considerate of all customers. If the chargeback was submitted in error, please provide us with confirmation from your bank that the dispute has been dismissed by a date. If we don't hear from you by then, we'll assume you wish to proceed with the chargeback, and unfortunately, we will have to terminate any future services. This means any upcoming orders will be canceled and any applicable refunds will be processed. We're here to help and hope to resolve this together. Thank you for understanding. That was a threatening email.
How on earth was that threatening? Do you consider that threatening?
It was like such a professional email. I was just like, wow. And it just it made me feel just kind of I don't know, I'm kind of impressed with that type of thing because especially when you have social media and people when they get angry, they take it to Reddit, they take it to Facebook, and they can stir up a lot of
Mhm.
unhappiness because they are rightfully frustrated. I think this person is rightfully frustrated. I think that if I opened up some food, if it didn't look right, and that's another reason why I don't like HPP is that it's not consistent. So if
Yes.
it comes to me and it doesn't look like what I'm used to it looking like, plus it smells like rotten eggs, I am going to think that it's gone bad. Even if I did read one day ago that this is part of the HPP. If it's very strong, and, like, my sense of smell is kind of muted. Johann has an extremely strong sense of smell. I mean, those are our superpowers we got from COVID. Is I nothing bothers me, and he walks into the house and he walks downstairs, and he's like, "Oh my god, what are you feeding?" And it's just like so for him, if I open up yeah, he would be like, "No, that has to get out of the house right now. No, this is horrible." So it could be like it she could have a very powerful sense of smell, and it was just very awful to her. Maybe even her cats were like, "Yeah, I'm not eating this." I don't know, but she was upset. And I think in her frustration, she probably took this. But the comments were kind of funny because a lot of people were like, um, "I don't understand where the threat was."
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad people called her out.
Or, and people were like, "Well, you said you didn't wanna order from them anymore anyway, so why are
Why
you
do you
upset
care?
about."
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was kind of just an interesting type of situation where ultimately, I am hats off to Viva Raw on how they handled, a tough situation. I mean, I don't do customer service, so I would not know how to handle it. I would just if it were my company, I would just be like, "I don't even wanna do this anymore. Let's shut it down." Because it's just like I literally could not handle, people telling the world that the food that I make for pets, you know,
Well,
smells like rotten eggs.
so, okay, I have so many thoughts. Okay, first of
Mhm.
all, I am a periodic customer of Viva Raw because I think they have a reasonable price for the rabbit, and Daisy Girl does really well on it. So that's one of the ones that I rotate in and out. And I will say that I've never smelled sulfur, but sometimes a color might be slightly different, and sometimes a smell might be slightly different, but I've never had a problem with it, with her being
Mhm.
sick, I've never had any issues, and there's another brand too that has a fish formula. I used to put, penny on it from time to time, and there was one time where, like, once or twice where I'm like it was summertime, and I was like, 'cause I bought it at, like, a local store, and I'm like, "Was the freezer truck" like, it looked like it had kinda, like, melted and then
Yeah.
refroze, and it was in, like, kinda, like, more, like, nugget type,
Yeah.
and it was, like, all, like, one big nugget, and it smelled really funky, and I was like I was very friendly with the person that owned the store, and I was like, "Hon, I don't think I can feed this. It looks like it melted and thawed and refroze and melted and thawed," Um, and and to this day, I'm like, I don't know whether that was okay or not, but I was like, I
Yeah.
can't, like, because you know me, I don't like to, like, cause a problem, but, like, I was like, I don't think so." And I'll also say from the customer service side, at Wolf Creek, that is not my primary job. In fact, we have this lovely girl, Anissa. She is just the most lovely, wonderful, helpful person. She's so perfectly suited to do customer service, and so I have, like, trained with her before just so that I can kinda cover different things if needed, and, like, I sit there and, I mean, just how rude people can be. It'll just be like, "Refund, diarrhea," or, you're like, "What?" Like, uh, I don't know. That's not an exact quote, but, just stuff like, like that, or anyway, I just, just God bless people doing customer service and always wanting, you to have a good experience, and it's our pets, and we care about them,
Yeah.
and we're doing the best we can, and they can't tell us, it's up to us to advocate, and, there's so many different angles, coming at it, and so, bless the customer service workers because some of
I
the
think a lot of people feel like we're all being scammed. Like in the end of at the end of the day, we're all being scammed by someone because I find that the customer service experiences that blow up and go absolutely insane where people are sharing screenshots of emails and such. It started with someone. I mean, maybe they did, contact the company, but in the meantime, they've also shared their experience on social media. And then other people who may have had a negative experience with the company or just have issues with the company, they participate. And it just sort of like everyone's throwing their wood onto this fire. And by the time customer service is like, hey, you called and we wanted to help you, they're dealing with a bonfire of rage that's been fed by social media. And it's not to tell people, not to go to social media. I know for myself, I've had to learn not to do that because it doesn't help anything and I don't have all the information. And if I'm going to go to social media, I want to go with all the information as well as, if I'm trying to say, hey, this probably isn't a good food, I want to be able to have all the facts rather than do it from an emotional place. But, yeah, I I I kind of empathize with the cat owner and with Viva Raw because it was just like a crap situation, but I was really impressed with how Viva Raw handled it.
Yeah, I would not wanna do customer service for a raw food company,
I could not imagine. I think, Oma's Pride, and I wish they did this more regularly. Maybe they do, and it just doesn't never comes through my feed, but a couple years ago, maybe a year or 2 ago, I think it was last year, they did a video where they responded to reviews.
Mm.
And so they had one review that was, "This is way too much for chicken. Chicken in the store costs this much a pound, and you guys are charging this much a pound." And the guy was like always, he was like, "That's a fair critique, but keep in mind that it's not just chicken in this recipe. It's also all these other ingredients. We pull it all together, we package it, and we ship it to your door, and that's why." That adds to the cost, and it was similar to, like, what you said, diarrhea, refund. It was kinda like that type of just very, you know, um some of the reviews were kind of unreasonable, and that was the point of the video was that they were going for but it was so funny, the things that people were saying, it's and I love Oma's Pride, but, I wish that they did it more often.
Another thing that particularly over the winter when there was, like, storms and stuff moving through, we were having a lot of delays with the post office, and it's like, I we ship it out, you know, it's in God's hands now, like, you know what I mean? And it was so we wanna help is with the post like I don't know why it went to, like, Florida to Kentucky, back to Florida to Texas, back to Florida to California, like, I don't know.
It's like I don't look at the when they send you me the thing like, "Hey, you can track your" I don't track the shipment because I figure it'll get here when it gets here because those are the questions that I have, where it's like, why is it in California? Why is it just sitting there? It's been sitting there for days. Why? And
Well,
no, it'll
I
be
did
here.
have a little bit of a perimenopause rage moment recently. Um, I had to go to the eye doctor and got my fresh prescription, and then I went to order my contacts online, and, I'm like, "They'll show up in in a week or so." The next thing I know, I'm like, "It's almost the end of May. I haven't gotten my contact. When did I order that? I ordered it on, like, May 6th. Like, what's going on? It's been like, what?" And I call the customer service number, and they're trying to, like, tell m okay, so it's like America's Best. Any other time, if you go to place your order and they're like, "Oh, your prescription expired," they call you, right? They'll
Mhm.
call you, they'll email you, they'll text you, they'll be like, "Prescription expired, prescription expired." Nobody made there was it was just like it was just processing, processing, and it never went any further. And I'm like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "Oh, your prescription expired." And I'm like, "Well, that doesn't make any sense. I just went there on April whatever." And so I log in and I see when I went to the eye doctor, because I have, like, 2 different prescription like, each eye has a different prescription, they put one of them in as expiring April of 2027, and somehow they put the
Oh.
other one in as expired the day that I went there on April 2026, which makes, like, no sense, like, why would you enter this and then it would be expired? It was like one of these things, did anyone look at this? Like, in the past, they'll call the store to verify the prescription, they'll alert me if my prescription is expired and I need to go back to the eye doctor, and yet nothing happened for more than 2 weeks, and it was just if I hadn't have called, like, nobody ever would have done anything, and it just would have been in the ether, and they just would have kept my money, and I wouldn't have ever gotten anything, and I was very not happy about that. And, my whole life, I've always been very patient, "Yes, ma'am," and boy, I really wasn't that day,
I
I have to
haven't
admit.
had I haven't had any weird experience. Oh, I did have a customer service experience earlier this month. We have a water service. Why do we have a water service? You have to ask Johan, because apparently the well water isn't good enough for him.
Oh,
He
okay.
needs and because I'm the one that is paying for it, because I got tired of him complaining about it that I just ordered a water fountain from Costco and they deliver us water. He's getting distilled water, and it's just regular old plain water. He doesn't need any special sparkling or I don't know what he thinks he needs, but he's getting distilled water. And they've even tried, he's like, "Oh, you wanna, get this water?" No, he's fine. He can get the distilled water. It's the cheapest, and that's what he wants, and that's what he can get, and he's fine. He hasn't complained about it. It says distilled on the container, so if he's actually curious, he can read it. I don't think he would even care. But anyway, the company that we were going through got bought out by a bigger company, and not all of the customer accounts transferred over to the new system. So our name and address and phone number transferred over, but nothing else. So we used to get like, text reminders to say, hey, or I would get phone call reminders saying, hey, you have a pickup, drop off on this day, put your bottles out. We only got 3 per pickup, and I would go in and just skip it if we still had a couple waters. So I'm sitting here waiting, and all of a sudden, I would hear a noise or the dogs will start barking, and I look out the window, and the water truck is driving away. And I can't catch him because we have a long driveway, and I'm in my pajamas, and I'd go outside, and there's 5 big old I don't know how many gallons are in this thing. I think they're 5 gallons each, maybe, sitting outside. This happened twice, and it came to a point where we had about 10 to 12 of these bottles in our garage, and I had to call them, and I'm like, "I can't do this anymore." And I was so mad, but the woman was so nice, and I was, like, telling myself, "It's not her fault, it's not her fault, I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation." But I was just like, "We used to get reminders," and she was just like, "Yep, let me set that up for you." And I was just like, "And it's 2 of us. We do not need 5 bottles a week or every other week." She's like, "Okay, let me fix that for you too." And I was just like, "And I'm gonna need him to come by and pick up." And that's the other thing is that I called and said, "Hey, you guys dropped off. We didn't get a heads up that you guys were coming by." "Oh, I'll call him and have him swing back by." He never came. So I was like, "I'm gonna need," and then I did online where you can ask for them to come up, and that never happened. So I told a lady, it's like, "I've been trying to get someone to come and pick up some of these bottles." I have about 5 to 7 of them that I
And they're
really like out of
big.
the
They
garage.
take up room,
Yeah, they
yeah.
take up a lot of space. It's like, "Can you please come and get these?" And they're like, and so I left them outside for like a week, and they finally came and, they dropped off some and picked up some. But we still I don't know how we still have so many bottles. We probably have about 6 or 7 in our garage. I mean, we have so much. And so I'm, like, using it to water the plants. I'm using it I'm trying to get through this water so we can get down to our 3 bottles. But the lady was really nice about it.
We had that issue at my office when I was still working at the law firm, and we used to have a bigger staff, and then after COVID, it went down to basically just the attorney, John and I. And so, yeah, we at one point, I think we had, like, 12 bottles of water. And then we, like, called them and to, like, stop delivering, and, like, I would still show up to the office and there'd be, like, 3 full jugs, and I can't lift them, I have a shoulder, situation after the surgeries and stuff, so I can't lift that, and so I'm trying to, like, roll them up those, like, the stairs just to get them in the house because I don't want them to, like, be rained on or snowed on or anything, and, but then, yeah, like, I couldn't get them up to where our water thing was, like, it was such an ordeal, and then at one point, yeah, we had all these empties, and we're trying to, like, get them to set back up, and we're like, "We just need, like, 2 a month." Like, there's only 2 of us here. John not even there, half the time, like, we just need, like, 2 a month.
It's like, it was just I almost canceled the service because I was so frustrated. Just and luckily, since the lady was so nice, I didn't cancel it, and I'm sure Johan would have been like, "I'm gonna get it again," which would have defeated the purpose. But, it's a ridiculous thing that we do, and I do appreciate it because I drink the water too, and the dogs drink the water. But, okay, so what else? You saw oh, yes, that ad, the the mushroom, the ad we've talked about this before, and it's come up again in a group where there's an ad, and they're they don't look like ads. They look like, a testimonial from a veterinarian who says that, "God, I wish I had known this with my dog. If I would have known, my dog would still be with me. And at first, I used to believe these things, but because of this, I now." It sounds like a veterinarian who's talking about going from traditional to integrative or holistic and how the benefits of turkey tail. And in the post, it's a super long post. This person mentions that people don't realize that for a dog to absorb, like the glucan and other nutrients in mushrooms, it needs to be given along with a probiotic. And there's only this one product. And what's interesting is each ad that I've seen, and I've seen this ad, I don't see them anymore, but I've seen this ad 3 times. And each time it was one of 2 products.
Hmm.
So it's a scam. I think what it is, honestly, is it's an affiliate marketing person, and they're getting commissions from this. But what's interesting is that you saw a conversation in a group about it, probably a couple weeks ago. 2 of my friends from Montana called me because they were like, "We wanna start giving our dog turkey tail, but we saw on Facebook this veterinarian said that da da da," and I was like, "That's an ad. It's not a veterinarian, it's an ad." And they're like, "What?" Because they don't really spend a whole lot of time on social media. And I think someone might have told them about it, and so, tell a friend, telephone, um, type of thing. And so I directed them to, Real Mushrooms and sent them some information of, "You can get this." But for anyone who may have fallen into the trap of believing this, one, it's not a real post. And I've noticed this a lot lately where you'll see a post where it looks like someone just posting something like, "Hey, has anyone ever tried such and such? Because I'm thinking of trying it with my dog or with my cat or with my kid or whatever." And if you look up in the upper left corner, it says sponsored, but a lot of
Mhm.
people don't see that because it doesn't look like an ad, it looks like just someone talking.
Uh-huh.
And then when you go into the comments, you'll see them going on about saying, "Oh, I ended up trying it, and it was really great, and here's a link," and stuff. It's all just a bunch of crap.
Yep.
So, that being said, I did dive into this back when I first saw it, and I have an article on Substack about, the benefits of mushrooms that goes into the fact that I think I wanna say what the word is. Is it I don't know, is it chitin? Chitin. So mushrooms contain it's a tough fiber found in the mushroom cellular wall, and what people are saying is that because it's such a tough fiber, dogs don't have the 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 enzymes to break it down, so they are not absorbing any of the benefits. The thing about it is that if you're giving your dog like, if I were to just go and get turkey tail or lion's mane or any of the other functional mushrooms from a natural, grocery store, I wouldn't just add raw mushrooms to my dog's diet. I have to cook them. And so what I usually do is I either saute them in water or I chop them up and I roast them for, like 15 minutes, and then I feed them to my dogs. But the best way to get them where they're really gonna be getting the benefits is through a supplement because they are extracting everything that we need, and it's done at a bigger dosage. So they're getting way more than they would if we were giving, you know we're trying to measure out how much turkey tail we need to get the same benefits. But no, dogs don't need probiotics in order to digest mushrooms, and it's what's ironic is that mushrooms are actually a prebiotic,
Mhm.
and our dogs, even though they don't have the enzyme to break through that tough fiber, they do have the gut microbiome that can do that. It'll break it down in the gut, and also, I learned that dogs don't consume mushrooms the way they do, for instance, leafy greens. They consume mushrooms the way they do animal proteins with amino acids. So it's interesting because when you read that post, I actually copied and pasted the post and put it into AI to say what's right and what's wrong. And it broke down like enough of it is right that it can fool people, but there were just some key things about it that were wrong, and the things that were wrong was the fact that dogs actually can digest mushrooms. There are plenty of scientific studies saying as much, specifically not just functional mushrooms, but also specifically turkey tail, and that it's wrong that dogs need to have a probiotic given alongside a mushroom. And then, you and I, because of our lovely experience at Super Zoo together, we know that if someone is selling you a product and they're telling you, and it has a probiotic, so it makes it better, that opens up a whole new can of worms because it's like, what probiotic are they using?
Mhm.
What studies did they find? Why did they choose that
That
particular
probiotic.
probiotic?
Yeah.
I mean, because is it species appropriate? Because from what I understand, unless it's something like fermented vegetables, like with Gussie's gut, or fermented fish stock, with solutions, or fermented, like kefir with solutions, or raw goat's milk solutions, green juju. Um, Steve's Real Food also has raw goat's milk, and I think OC Raw does too. But unless it's those particular things that are naturally contain probiotics, the only company I know that is providing species appropriate probiotics is Adored Beast Apothecary. I could be wrong,
And
but
Wolf Creek.
really?
Yes, it's in our gut health formula for dogs.
That is fantastic.
Mm.
See, now we have 2. So, yeah, so it's just like I the company that we always reference or, allude to when we talk about our experience at Super Zoo, the probiotic they were using is the same probiotic that Purina uses. And it's not to say that it's a bad probiotic. I don't know anything about it, but I'm not thinking it's any good. I don't think it's I don't think it's better than Adored Beast or Wolf Creek. I don't think our dogs need it. And so yeah, I think that I think people are getting a lot, more clever when it comes to their advertising. But yeah, when I first came across this, I sent emails to Dr. Rob Silver. I sent an email to Angela Ardolino. I sent an email to Joni. And I was emailing everyone because I was just like, is this real? Is this legit? And they were like, yeah, no, it's a scam. This is a scam. This is not right. And so it's unfortunate because so many people want to do better for their dogs. And what really drives me crazy is that some of these ads are also leading people to believe that all you have to do is give your dog this mushroom product, and within a few months, any lumps or bumps are going to be gone.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't work that way. I mean, someone's delivering something. Gosh, I always worry. I always wonder what people think when they come to deliver something. If they're just like, golly, because we have windows next to the door. And on nice days like today, Johan likes to open all the windows. And when his back is turned, I go and close one window because I just feel like anyone who comes onto our porch, and they have 3 dogs trying to get as close to them as possible. And Bella has gone through the window because she was so excited and barking, and it wasn't to at a stranger, it was me. I was outside, and she got all excited, and I was like, "Oh my god." But anyway, so I guess it
Well,
brought them.
yeah, I think I had a FedEx guy lately who was afraid to come to the door because Daisy Girl was there, and I was like, "Oh, it's okay, it's locked." We have, like, a storm door,
Yeah.
and he's like, "I've had him come through the door before."
I mean, it's just like, I feel so bad for them. I mean, it's just like, god, and what's funny is that, Bella might nip. And that's why, like, when people are around, I put a ball in her mouth, and that way she can go and rub her mouth on him, but there's a ball in her mouth so she can't nip because she just gets super excited. But Apollo just wants to get attention, and Buffy doesn't know what's going on, so she's following Apollo. And Zoe's so funny because if everyone's going left, Zoe will go right and just start barking. And it's just like, "Do you even know what's happening, or are you just barking in solidarity?" It's just she's so funny. But, okay, so the fatty tumor, that yes, it will not reduce the size of a fatty tumor within a couple months, but I did have a really nice conversation with Lee Carroll at Feed Real last year, and he said that, mushrooms can cause a reduction in the size of a fatty tumor, but it's something that happens over years, not months. So any product out there that's telling you that it can do that, they're not really being honest. And further research was like, people may experience like reduced inflammation, so it may seem like the tumor's smaller. And also I always think about the honeymoon period where if you are feeding your dog a bad diet and you aren't really doing anything and this is the first thing you're doing, you actually might see some changes. What bothered me was a lot of the ads showed dogs with like grapefruit size tumors. And then the next picture, the tumor's gone. And it's just like,
Come on now.
I'm gonna need to see. I think you're lying. I'm good. I don't I think that you're just throwing up pictures.
I
But
default to the lesson, learned as a child, right? If it seems too good to be true, it
yeah,
usually is.
yeah. So it's just like, okay. So
I have, like, very vivid memories of my parents saying stuff like that. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
yes. Yeah. Mine was, if so and so jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge too? And then I would be like, probably, and then I'd be grounded.
Well, what is the situation? I mean, is there something chasing me? I mean, there might be reasons why I would need to jump off a bridge. I'm not looking to jump off a bridge, but I'm not going to say it's never going to happen. See, this is the kind of shit that I used to get in trouble for
Yeah, exactly. That's just
because I need to know details because there's so many variables and like this is why I used to get in trouble in Sunday school because
Yep.
I just asked way too many
You start
questions.
asking questions. Start asking questions, and then everyone else starts getting upset, and then before you know it I'm gonna send you a link to the mushroom article and a link to the Viva Raw. And then the final thing that you sent me was which I thought was fantastic, and I wanna give them credit, but I have to go find it again because, far be it for me to actually have everyone or everything lined up. Luckily, you were the latest person to, message me. If I can find it, there it is. So, the Holistic Canine did a post on May 15th, which I loved, and its balance and fresh feeding is not fear mongering. And the argument is that a lot of people, and I've seen this too, where someone will question a recipe because it doesn't look like it's balanced, or someone starts encouraging someone, hey, you really should work with someone so you can get a balanced recipe. And someone comes along and says, you're just going to turn people off. You're making raw feeding way more complicated than it needs to be. I was called a Karen once when I asked where the source of calcium was in a recipe, and I've had to like really coach how I respond to things if I'm even going to bother responding, because there's that aspect of it, but there's also everyone on social media is so gosh darn sensitive. So, I mean, if you go and say, "Hey, it's a good idea if you add this because your recipe is missing, calcium, and dogs need calcium," they will get super it's taken as an attack. I've had people go in this one group where probably at least once a month someone comments, "I'm leaving this group because everyone just is such a bully. I shared my recipe and everyone attacked me for it." And you go and find their recipe and the quote unquote attacks are just people saying, "Hey, you really should think about that," or, "Oh, that seems like a lot of carbs," because the person is adding rice, quinoa, and oats to like, it's like 75% carbs. And people the thing about it is, like, it's social media. Maybe don't post your recipes if you don't because it's like, did you just join yesterday? Because, I posted a balanced recipe with a report to prove that it was balanced. And I had a few people trying to eat me alive in the comments because, I honestly don't know. But I love the fact that, the Holistic Canine goes in and explains, I won't read the whole thing because it's a really long post, explaining why we need to make sure we're meeting our dog's nutritional needs. And I think that for me, and it's so silly to have to do it this way, I have kind of drifted away from using the term balance and just say meeting nutritional needs because of the negative connotation balance has. And I will admit, I have contributed to that negative connotation because in the past, I thought, people who were constantly insisting on balance, I felt the same way. Fear mongering, you're just making this complicated, you're scaring people away from raw feeding. However, my thought came from there's a group, and I won't name the group, but there is a group on social media, and Brian, if you are listening, you know what group I'm talking about. There is a group on social media where they have a reputation of being just absolute jerks when it comes to this topic. And I don't know if they've improved. I was actually surprised to know that they are still around because I never see anything about them. Of course, we've all mutually blocked each other for years, so that's probably why. But, they in the past, I've seen posts where they've told people, "You may as well just go back to feeding kibble because you're just gonna kill your dog trying to feed raw," rather than trying to help them. They have when they if they disagree with someone, some of their members, their first approach is a very vicious attack. And again, this is just social media. It's unfortunate, but that to me is what really starts driving people away from the topic is you come across those type of people who are super passionate and maybe they mean well, but their delivery absolutely sucks and no one wants to deal with it.
I mean, I really liked my favorite thing about it was that it was saying, long-term damage happens slowly and over time, and that,
Mhm.
you're risking with any kind of nutrient deficiency or excess that can be the cause of GI issues, of orthopedic issues, of metabolic dysfunction, of endocrine disruption, of skin and coat issues, and I just thought that that was a really important thing because sometimes we wonder like, well, where does this chronic disease come from in our
Mhm.
pets, and it's like, well, you know, I, I'm gonna throw kibble under the bus just
Yeah.
for the sake of argument right now. But I also think of the issue that Dr. Susan Recker has brought up that you had helped me with Nino, where,
Yeah.
I'm not feeding him the recommended amount for his size and weight. I'm feeding him less than that, which can cause nutrient deficiencies over time. And,
Yeah.
pet parents all around, especially kibble fed dogs, uh, they feed less because their vet's like, do half of that or throw
Yeah.
some green beans in it, or you know what I mean? And you're like, well, what is that doing over time?
Yeah.
And is that, and then it's like, "Oh, and your dog has thyroid disease, and, oh, their coat is funny," and I thought that it was important from that perspective also, all around, no matter what you're feeding.
Yeah, and I think it's also to people who feel like I've been doing everything right. I'm feeding fresh food, I'm giving my dog these great supplements, I'm doing all these things, and why is my dog still getting sick? Not understanding that there may be a deficiency that you're not aware of. And it may not even be your fault because my another big issue I have with the intense pressure when it comes to balance is every dog absorbs nutrients differently, and I learned this from Rodrigo. Because he had EPI, he struggled with absorption, and so when I tested all of my dogs twice with Parsley Pet, and his always came out completely different than everyone else's, even though they all eat the same diet. And it's because all the dogs were slightly different, but Rodrigo was always like you would think that he lived in a different house the way his came out. And that was the first time. The second time, it was a lot better. But, it is something to really consider. There's also health issues that might change. I know with Scout, when he was diagnosed with cancer, I had done the second Parsley Pet a few months prior, and I can't remember what it was, but there was something with calcium that
Hmm.
showed up on his, and I'm curious to know how much that was sort of like a telltale sign that something was going on, and it just hadn't shown in the lymph nodes yet, but it was already showing in his system. But yeah, I think ultimately we're all doing the best we can with the information we have. It's kinda hard for people to I mean, first of all, I don't know if people have noticed or anything, but gas prices are insane right now, and I
100%.
kind of feel like I know it's summertime and a lot of people are traveling, but gas prices here are $5 and something cents a gallon, a pound, a gallon here. So it's really expensive. And this I'm not even in Seattle. I don't even know what it is in Seattle. I'm in the up way up north in farm country. And thankfully, I have Costco and then we have, the grocery stores that as you shop, you gain points and you can knock cents off of gas. So I have all of that. And so I basically go around and then there's apps out there now that tell you where to go to get gas. A friend of mine has been doing that, and she's been able to knock off a few dollars off of her gas.
Thank God I work from home now, that's all I gotta say.
Right? I mean, that's just it, is like, I love the fact that I work from home because, I mean, I took my friends so my friends went on a cruise, so one morning, my friend came to my house, left her car, we drove down to the airport, which is hour and a half or so away from where I live, and then I drove them back to Seattle to drop them off at the ship, and then I went to work, and then I went home, and then I did this a week later, went and picked them up, went home. But, I had to fill my tank that after on the next trip, and $70, and I still wasn't filled. I mean, I was
Mhm.
right there. It was probably gonna be, like, $72, but it was just like, I mean, that's $70 is like, a Ford F-150 price, not a Ford Escape. I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's expensive. So I bring that up not to talk about gas prices, but to say that not everyone has a spare $300 to hire someone to formulate recipes for them. Um, and while I think it's a good idea, in my opinion, to get one if you can't if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have the time or the funds to take courses and if you're not finding the information out there to help figure it out, because plenty of people have, but if you don't, that's another option. The problem is that that's expensive too. And I know that there are some people out there. I wanted to offer that service, but boy, again, I am not a customer service person. I am not a cus and that puts you really close to customers, and it took basically 48 hours for me to realize this is not for me because I didn't although I asked all the questions of this is all the information that I need and everything, when I delivered the recipes, the person came back and had a whole bunch of information that they wanted to share that would basically make me start from scratch again.
Oh gosh.
So I wasn't charging this person, I was just sort of trying it out to see, but if I was, I would have made them pay me again. It's like, "No, you have to pay again." Like, I will make 1 or 2 adjustments to an existing recipe, but if I have to start from scratch, you have to buy a new packet or whatever. But it's just kinda crappy. That being said, there are affordable and free recipes out there. So, I mean, you have to buy the book, but the Forever Dog book, the Forever Dog Life has recipes. There is a Dr. Kathy Alanovi. She has books out. She has actually a book with Susan Thixton. It's very old, but I still have it. There are recipes in there. Dr. Judy Morgan has a book with recipes. I think Dr. Judy Morgan's recipes are more healing recipes than something that you want to feed on a regular basis. But I still think that they're valuable and I still reference her book. Um, I question a lot of the cookbook recipe books out there now, but to me, I still think probably is if you're getting started, they're better than doing nothing. And then I share recipes on my Substack and sometimes on Instagram. And every Friday, actually, Fix It Friday, I call it Fix It Friday, where I'll fix a recipe that I come across on social media. And last Friday, I turned one recipe into 5 balanced recipes. I was actually quite proud of myself.
I saw that.
And then I'm pretty sure Planet Pause, and I don't know, I haven't kept up with them, but I know that they were planning on creating more recipes and having a site with recipes, but I know years ago, Rodney and Karen, and I think it was on the Planet Pause website, had recipes, and I think they were like a buck 99, and that was a long time ago, but still, so the information is out there, and then there's also the Feed Real Institute, where if you wanna just follow, for instance, the ancestral model, you put your dog's information in, and it tells you how much of various ingredients you can add to the bowl, and you can get started feeding your dog. So there are options out
And
there.
animal diet formula.
Yeah, there's the animal diet formulator. With that, I know a lot of people don't wanna pay it's $25 a month for just, like, an average person, but I feel like if you know someone that has it and they also, Dr. Rucker did videos that show you how to use the software, I would, like, be okay with investing 3 months and then just playing around with it a couple times a week, thinking of all of the ingredients I can affordably get in my area and coming up with recipes. And then when I came up with, let's just say 5 recipes, I mean, because honestly, 5 is plenty. I would cancel it and be good to go. So, and I don't think it's a 2-week free. I think they used to have a 2-week free trial. I think it's just a low price, a 2-week low price trial. But and if you're savvy, you can it's not it can feel intimidating, but, I guess I'm not probably a good person to say this, but it's really it's really easy to use. But keep in mind, I've been using it since 2018, so yeah, it's very easy for me to use.
Oh, so what else do you know?
I bought a new plant today.
How's your plant momming?
It's really great.
Plant mom life?
I love my plants. I really do. That's about it. My dogs are doing well. Everyone's happy and healthy, and so I'm grateful for that. Um, Buffy, no allergies. I mean, she has itchy here and there, but no big type of allergies, and she's back on. Oh, I do have an update, but I'll get to it. She is I alternate her between your flea product and the allergy product, and she does really well, and she's back on Gussie's gut, even though it's fermented. She does really, really well. But we talked about this last time, I believe, about Zoe and how I had her on an omega oil, and it just had a gazillion oils in it, and it gave her horrible diarrhea each time, and so the other dogs still get it because they do fine with it, but I switched her to your algal oil, and she does great.
Yay.
And so I started just by doing, like, a couple drops
Yeah,
and
just a little bit, yeah.
slowly bringing it in, and she does great, no issues whatsoever.
So Nino, in some ways, well, it's just been a rough week. He has some stomach flares from time to time, and they're very seasonal. And it's like now it's like getting warmer. And so it's very interesting to me. It's like almost like you can pinpoint when he's going to have flares up based on like changes in the seasons. And my vet, is very into traditional Chinese veterinary medicine. We have him on herbs and it still happens. So this was a rough week where he was, waking me up at night and wanting to go outside and eat grass and poop multiple times. And then we had all this rain the last couple days, and he's been pooping in the house because he doesn't like getting his feet wet. And it's like this morning he ate breakfast, went outside, came back in, I jumped in the shower, I get out of the shower and he's pooped on the dining room rug. And I'm like, dude, you literally just went out right before I went in the shower. And then he did the same thing to Tim last night. Tim had let him out, let him back in, and then Tim comes in a couple minutes later and there's poop on the floor. And we're like, dude. So, he's also we switched up some other supplements into some of his CBD, and I feel like we need to up his CBD because he was having some more mobility issues, and so he's just seemed like a little bit like a little old man the last couple days, even though overall, generally speaking, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
So the one thing I wanted to say about Wolf Creek, because, I've been like slowly trying like all the different things. So we
Mhm.
have a product that's called Omega Balance, and it is ahi flour, which at first I thought it was like ahi tuna. No, no, no. This is like literally like a word, ahi flour, that is a flour that grows in England. And it is a source of an omega-3 called SDA, which in dogs converts into EPA, which is the anti-inflammatory, part of the fatty acids. So I've been giving it to Daisy Girl here, And with that and the algal and the allergy formula, we have not had any real flares up
Oh, wow.
this year at all. I also have a powder that I put on her feet for for this time of year when it's getting wet, to help absorb any excess moisture in her paws. So this combination has really kept her feet looking really good this year, and I'm very happy about that. And then I like very slowly, like I have Nino on the algal. I've very slowly been adding the omega balance with him, just like a couple drops. And what I will say is his poops are better
Oh,
because
nice.
he's always been a dude that he has very segmented poops, he has very mucusy poops.
Mhm.
He'll poop one like, if we go out on a walk, he'll poop twice on a walk because it's like the first half comes out and then the second half, and he's just always been like that. We think it goes back to when he had that all the stomach surgeries and, like, it has disrupted the way, he's just always been that way. And he's been having much better poops, he's been having less mucusy poops, he's been having more solid poops, and, I really think that we're seeing that is lowering the inflammation in his digestive system overall, even though this week has been not the best example of that, but,
Yeah,
the trend is trending better, and so I've been really excited about that.
that's good. That's awesome. That's great news. I'll have to give that a try because, you know, she's old. She's 12 and a half years old, so she needs her omegas, and so I can't take 'em. I know it's funny because she tolerates whole food a lot better, but the reason why I like the oil is because it's more concentrated, and
Yeah.
so it's gonna give her a little bit more than just giving her a couple of sardines. So another thing I found, because I did research on Wolf Creek's product before I bought it, was that a lot of oils that are algae oils are I can't remember which one it is, where they're high in EPA, but not DHA or the other way.
Ours is
And
high in DHA.
yeah, and the thing about it is that you guys have made a point of making sure that both are in there.
Yes, yes, it
And
does still have a reasonable amount of EPA.
yeah, and
'Cause,
so
yeah, some
that
have 0, but yeah, ours has
yeah,
higher in DHA, but it still has a good amount of EPA.
yeah, so that is actually still beneficial, and that's something like, so if you're out there looking for an algae oil, that's something to consider, that it may not have any EPA in it, and that's what we need. Isn't that the inflammation one?
Mhm, mhm.
That's what we need. So, it's something to keep in mind, but yeah, it's been kind of a journey. It's I know that Zoe is doing really well. But, my oldest dog was Rodrigo at 13 and a half. So, for her, it's sort of like, "I got a year left. I got a year left."
I know,
Yeah.
Nina's 12, yeah, 12,
And
12
it's
and
like,
a half.
time and it's but she's doing so well. She's still doing the, red light therapy. She's not always a fan of having the blanket because it does have a weight to it, and she's just sort of like and it's been nice, so I think it's a little warm.
Yeah.
So, I think sometimes but to me, I figure even if will sleep with it for 10 minutes 'cause it's a 15-minute stretch. Even if she sleeps with it for 10 minutes, I'm happy, to have her do it, and so I'm still trying to do it. My goal was to do it twice a day. I've only managed to do it probably once a day, but not always every day, and she's still doing really well. And, she's still more active. She's still in fact, I was watching her, I think it was this morning, we were outside and she was just, like, left. She went down to the pond and she oh, no, this was yesterday. She went down to our pond, and she goes through the weeds into the pond, and she's looking for the bullfrogs, and she's not gonna do anything with them. She just jumps at them, but she loves the big, gigantic bullfrogs, and so that's what she's looking for, and she's so funny when I watch her. So she's walking all over the place. She's doing really well. It's, and I ran out of Winpro, which sucked because it's been such a key part of her supplements with her joints, and
Oh,
so
I ordered a bunch of their dental chews on the
yeah,
Memorial Day sale.
I miss their Memorial Day sale. I'm, like, so annoyed because I get emails from them, but I never get the sale emails from them,
Oh.
and I'm glad that I ordered because I happened to order a case, But I was I'm tempted to call them to see if they would be willing to just give me the discount
I bet
anyway.
they would.
If I just 'cause I'll order a case. I just wanna always keep it on hand. But but yeah. So, but otherwise, how are your dogs? Ooh, how's nose work?
Oh my gosh. We're having so much fun. So my new newswork teacher lives on a horse farm, and Daisy Girl thinks she can bring down a horse, I guess? So that's been entertaining. Uh, she's only really seen them one time, which was a couple days ago, and it went about like how I thought it was gonna go, which was, because I have her on like, I think it's called the Freedom Harness that's, my chiropractor approved it. It's like a no pull harness, and it still has shoulder movement, and, but when she does news work, I let her off on, like, the longer lead rather than because you kinda, like she's on a really short leash when it's on the no pull, and so I let her and it was like, "Oh, I'm trying to run and reclip the other end of the leash," and she's, like, trying to take off after the horse, and my news work teacher's like, "Oh, yeah, you were right." She's like, "Oh, she'll be fine," like, but it was very funny because she'll, like, start to launch, and then she's like, "Oh, but wait, I smell something over here. Hold on," and then she, like, went and found the hide and was then like, "What was that thing?" and, like, tried to take off after it. So but she does so good, and it's just very funny to me because the other people in the class are mostly small dog people, like, somebody has a corgi, somebody has a little terrier dude, like, a little scruffy dude, and, there is somebody that has a standard poodle that's there sometimes, which obviously they're bigger, but she gets most enthusiastic of it, like, of every class, like, she just comes charging down like, "Oh, let me at him," and, like, she's not scared of anything because sometimes she'll have stuff like, she'll have it set up on, like, tractors and, like, where she keeps stuff kind of like, fire like, wood barn where it's, like, just kinda covered, like, on top, but, like, open on the sides. Tim said there's, like, a name for it. I don't know farm names. But, so there's, like, I don't know, there's just, like, equipment. And, like, all the other dogs are like, "Ooh, what's over there?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, she's gonna impale herself on stuff because she's just, like, climbing over things." And I'm just like, "Oh god, there's, like, some sticky uppy thing I don't want her to fall on." Like, she just has no fear, she has no quit in her, she will keep going until she finds it, like, she will find every last one of them, and she just loves it, and also, hey, sometimes she gets to eat horse poop, so that's real
It's
a real
just the
plus for her.
That's the best. I love the fact that dogs are just like, "Yay."
And then, the newswork teacher will, be like, "Oh, you did so good," and she'll just jump up like, "I know!" Like, I always feel like there are lessons that they are teaching us and, like, they're always like, "She gets most enthusiastic about war."
That's so awesome. I love that. I love
I
that
have
so
TV talk, by the way. I find
Ooh, I'm watching something really good.
what are you
I'm
watching?
gonna finish it tonight. It's on Netflix, and it's something called Should I Marry a Murderer?
Oh, okay, I haven't
And
seen that.
I just started watching it today. I'm going to finish it tonight because I need to finish this. And it is so good because it's about this woman, she meets this guy, they hit it off, he's amazing, she loves him. All of her friends and family think she's moving way too fast, but they're like, they're gonna let her do what she wants to do. They get engaged, and then they're driving, and she's like, we because like, after a few months, they get engaged, and she's like, "We need to know everything about each other, not just the good stuff, but we gotta know the bad stuff too, so that, we wanna have no secrets between us." So he pulls over, or maybe she pulls over, and he's like, takes the keys out of the ignition, tells her to takes her phone, puts it in the glove compartment. Then they get out of the car and walk away from the car, and he confesses that he killed someone. And, the rest of the series is she reports him, and the rest of the series is how she's able, like them investigating the murder because it was like a cold case, and this is like in Glasgow, I think. It was a cold case, and so they're investigating the murder and trying to get evidence, and it's like, where I am now, it's like, if they don't get evidence, she's screwed because, it's pretty clear, that she's the one that, because at first they didn't know how they figured that the police had been watching them all along, and they're starting to pick up on the fact that, "Did you talk to somebody?" And so it is, like, unnerving, but I'm, like, really into it.
And he's like, "Should I marry a snitch?"
Yeah, but it's really good.
Well, I binged over Memorial Weekend the 2nd season of Running Point, the basketball show
Oh,
with Kate
yeah.
Hudson. Have you watched the
Mhm.
2nd season?
I
It's so
have.
good. It's just as good as the
Okay.
1st season. I loved it. And then I also binged the, Big Mistakes, the new Dan Levy, show.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and that was oh my god, I was just dying laughing. Speaking of not snitching, that show is so good, and I hope it got picked up for a 2nd season because I loved the way that it's set up at the end because you're like, "Oh," like, it's resolved, and then it's like, plot twist right at the end, and you're like, "Oh!" I was like, "That was such a smart, well done, good show." I was thrilled to watch it. Tim and I loved Rooster on HBO. It took us a while because we only really watch it when we're eating dinner, and so it takes us, like, 2 nights to get through, like, 1 episode. So it took us a while, we loved that. We're now watching DTF St. Louis, and
Hmm.
it's a very strange show. It's a murder mystery show, and it has Jason Bateman and
Oh, yeah, I've seen the things for it.
yeah, like, everybody in that show is so, like, weird and awkward, and it's almost, like, painful to watch, and you're just like, what a douche move," You're like, "Oh," and so, like, sometimes it's, like, physically uncomfortable to, like, sit through it.
Well, I went to the movies. I
Oh,
hadn't
what'd
been
you
to the
say?
theater in quite some time. I went and saw Devil Wears Prada 2,
Oh, how was
and
it?
I loved it. And it's funny because all the reviews that all the review YouTuber people that I follow, everyone hated it. And it was so funny because they were like, you know, "It feels like the same story as the first time. No one really grew." They didn't cover, because, like, the guy that was her boyfriend in the first movie isn't in this movie. They didn't cover, you know, didn't even mention him, and it's just like, well, it's been 20 years. I'm not mentioning boyfriends I had 20 years ago. If I ran into someone, it wouldn't come up. I
Yeah,
mean,
there's a reason I don't have my old last name on Facebook.
it's just like, are you kidding? I mean, geez. So, but, you know, it's hilarious because my friends and I were talking about it, and it's like, these people clearly don't understand the audience that would go see The Devil's Wear Prada 2. We don't want a deep movie. We're not walking away having learned something. It's
Just
it's
fluff, yeah.
it is exactly. It is just that's why when it comes on TV, you stop and watch it, especially if it's the part where she's walking and changing the outfits. That's a fun part. And so the only thing is that I kinda wish that, the guy from The Office, Jim,
Oh, mhm,
because
Josh
he's married
Krasinski.
to yeah, he's married.
Yes, in
That
real
would have been
life.
cool if he was, but he wasn't. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun, and I got a senior discount.
Oh my god.
Yes, I know. My friend was like, "You're not gonna get a senior discount. You're not old enough to get a senior discount." And I was like, "Yes, I will." And she's like, "You will not." And I'm like, "Young people think anyone that's older, like their parents' age, is old. So they will just give it to me because I tell them I'm old." And sure enough, because my friend was like, "Can I have the senior discount?" And they're like, "Okay." But I was like, "Hey, I need a senior discount too." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And and it was only like a couple bucks off, but still.
We went to a comedy show the other night, and I just had to laugh hysterically because they carded everybody, and I'm like, we literally have gray hair. Like, my husband has this big, huge gray beard, like
Like, what are you trying to learn?
but then she's like, "Look, I'm being recorded. I gotta card everybody." I'm like, "Fair enough."
But yeah, so yeah, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's just like, Practical Magic is coming out, I think, at the end of
I
the
saw
year,
that.
and
I don't know if I've ever seen the original. If I did, it was, like, once back in the '90s.
oh my god, I've seen it so many times. I love it so much. It's like one of my favorite movies. And so I'm so excited, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be ridiculous. I'm sure it's not gonna be, I'm sure it's just gonna be rehashing, but that's the whole thing is that
Right.
we come I call it member berries, because South Park had the member berry. It's like it's a member berry movie where you just come in and go, so it's like, "Remember that part when they did that?" It's like, "I do remember, I like that." And that's what these movies are. They're member berry movies, and we enjoy it. That's all.
I
So,
had a weird thing pop up in my Instagram algorithm. So, do you remember the guy from Sex and the City who was hooked up with Samantha? Smith Jared, the
yes.
model guy. Oh my god, he did it for me back in the day, let me tell you. Um, so somehow he's, like, all over my Instagram, like, that he's been away for 3 years and he's coming out with something, and I'm like, "Dude, you've been away for, like, 23 years, but
Yeah,
like."
exactly. It's like, "Are you kidding?" Okay, so this just came up in my algorithm, and we're, like, way off topic, but this was so funny, is okay, so did you watch oh gosh, I'm so horrible with remember the names of things. Homeland. Did you
Oh,
ever
yeah,
watch
yeah.
Homeland?
Yeah,
Remember Brody from the first
yeah.
2 season? So, I guess his name is Damien something in real
Yes.
life. Um, he has a video, a music video.
I have not seen this.
I'll see if I can find it. Because I was mad. It made me so angry. It made me angry because I'm looking at it and I was like, it was one of those things where I woke up and I'm laying down and the dogs are laying across me. So I'm like, I'm not going to get up yet. So I start scrolling and it comes through and I'm looking and I'm not quite focusing. And I'm like, is that Brody? It is Brody. And then I'm just like, ooh, go to the comments. And then I just start going through the comments. And so this song, it's repeated probably about 10 times as I'm reading comment after comment after comment. And after a while, it started sort of, you know, I started warming up to it. And that pissed me off. But it was just like, yeah, so Brody, and there's a part in the video where he's just walking down these stairs and it's so weird. The whole thing is weird. It's like, where are you? And what are you wearing? And and he's not a bad singer. And I guess it wasn't a terrible song, but it was just very jarring because I'm used to him being an actor and it made me angry. I feel like I would have the exact same experience if Robert Downey Jr. or Mark Ruffalo just suddenly came out with a music video. I would just be like, "No, you have a lane, you need to go back to it."
Well, that's like there's this actor named Ben McKenzie, and apparently he was in the OC. I never watched that, but I
Yeah.
know him from Southland, which is like this cop show
Yeah.
that Tim and I were in. Yeah. And apparently he's now like this anti cryptocurrency dude. And he's like basically going on all these interviews saying that, like crypto is like the world's biggest Ponzi scheme.
Before you invest in crypto, watch this.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, cop from Homeland. Good for you. Or no,
Yeah.
Homeland, Southland, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if
So
he
that's
got
a
I
thing.
wonder if he lost money. But yeah, so oh, and that was the other thing is that I didn't know that gosh, it's so funny, we were just going all over the place. I didn't know he was married to Morena woman, the woman from Deadpool movies,
Which one? Which guy?
the one you're talking about, the
Oh, I
cop
didn't
from
know that
Homeland.
either.
Yeah, I didn't know that until someone on Facebook said,
Oh! She was from V,
Yeah, oh my gosh, you knew V?
the Alien
I
show,
was
yeah.
so sad that V didn't pick up because I love the '80s V, and I was
Tim
so excited when they were gonna do it again.
Tim
Yeah.
loved the '80s V. I had never even heard of it, so he made us watch
Him and I need
the
to sit
reboot
down and
of it, and he loved it so much. I don't know when it was on TV, but he actually custom made a fifth column hoodie, which was like the resistance
oh my
faction.
god.
And yes, he has his own like fifth column hoodie. Yeah.
I have the DVDs or the Blu no, I have the DVDs. I have the DVDs of it, and every now and then I'll just go and watch it, and it's terrible. I mean, it's not terrible, like, it's not a terrible story, it's just terrible, like, the makeup stuff and all the stuff that they do, but, oh my god, I loved it so much. I used to watch it all the time. I had it on my VHS, I recorded it on TV and would just sit and watch it, and so now I have it. I loved it. But yeah, Morena. So yeah, I didn't know that they were married
That's so funny. I have to go
until
tell Tim.
someone posted it on social media, so there you go.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming along for our ride tonight. I swear neither one of us have ADHD.
I know, I know.
All right, we're working on guests for the summer now. Until next time.
Have a good one.